Hussein Farhat, natty or not. If you follow fitness at all, you know who Hussein Farhat is. He's had this meteoric rise because he has this crazy, nice physique, and he claims he's natural. And if you go to any of his videos, the comment sections will be like, there's absolutely no way you could look like this naturally. If you think he's natural, you're an idiot. Look, I'm 5'10", 180 pounds. Hussein, 5'11", about the same weight. I am on 140 milligrams of test per week, 10 milligrams of Anavar per day from a doctor. Call it TRT plus, call it optimization, whatever you want to call it. But basically, we're similarly sized, okay? And I'm not natural. But I still think the dude is natural. And let me explain why. Well, for one, he's already done like 3 drug tests. And if this were a court of law and no one has ever come out and been like, I sold him juice and injected it into his butt, there's been no witnesses. If this were a murder trial, he would be acquitted already. But it's not. It's people in the comments being like, I couldn't look like him, so there's no way he can look like him. And that's exactly what it is. All those people in his comments that are like, if you think he could look like this naturally, you're an idiot. That's just them. Their only metric they used was, could I look like him natural? Could any of my friends look like him natural? Probably not. Could I look like him on juice? Probably not. But just because your genetics aren't good enough to do that doesn't mean nobody's are. Think about for 2 seconds how much genetics vary. If you go out in public right now, you could probably find at least a couple dudes that are like 5'4", and you could find a couple that are 6'4". That's a huge variance. If you've seen a 5'4" dude standing next to a 6'4" dude, I'm 5'10". When I stand next to a 6'4" dude, I feel like a tiny human. And then there's like 3 people that are 3 foot tall, and there's Shaquille O'Neal. If that doesn't show you how much genetics vary, then you're just a closed-minded moron, okay? You're not the smart guy. I don't know what to tell you. Just because your genetics don't allow for it doesn't mean that no genetics on the entire planet do. And there's probably a lot of people out there that have really, really good genetics like that just never got into bodybuilding. So it's probably really rare, but it may not be as rare as we think, because think about how many people just don't lift weights or eat like that consistently. So there's probably a lot of sleeper genetics out there that could look incredible, but they never do it. So anyway, if you still doubt the dude is natural, just sit there for like 10 minutes and think about what I've said about genetics. The little short dudes versus Shaquille O'Neal. So the only real way to know if someone's natural is if they tell you, or if they're like winning IFBB pro level bodybuilding shows and they just are ginormous. But if someone's 180 pounds with like a small waist and really good delts, you don't know.